Hello guys, today we're gonna be working a 2016 Scion TC. That's a manual one, and today we're gonna change the lower control arm. We have 22mm bolt and nuts here, and on the other side here we have a 22mm from the side. This one here is the other 22mm. That's a bolt, no nuts, just going directly into the part of the suspension. And then under here we're gonna have three 17mm, two nuts and one bolt, 17mm. These are all that you need to take to remove that lower control arm. So let's get started. Okay guys, so we took the bolt and nut on the other side out. We loosened this one, but if you guys can see, it is stuck in the oil pan here, so I couldn't really take it out anymore because it's stuck in the oil pan. So we release the other side, and now we release here from the spindle, and we're gonna try to move the whole lower control arm a little bit so we can try to get the bolts here out. Okay guys, so we tried different way to pry somehow and get that bolt out, but we found out there is only two ways. The first way is to get the whole oil pan down, so kind of like when you replacement. So you're gonna have to drain the oil, take the whole oil, all the bolts, nuts to remove the oil pan. Then after this, you will be easy to remove that bolt out. Option number two is to start to remove some bolts that for that frame part, or so you're gonna have to remove these two bolts here, and then here you have this bracket. You're gonna have to remove these three bolts. 1, 2, 3. Take that bracket out, and then there is one bolt that is going from here. I'll try to show you where exactly. So you're gonna go so you're gonna go through that hole to remove that bolt. Okay, and you're gonna go to the other side, and you're gonna need to loosen, not to remove, just to loosen that bolt, and loosen this one, and remove the other two in the back. So again, if you're gonna do this way, you have to remove these two bolts here, remove all three bolts on that bracket, that's the driver's side, and remove the bolt inside here. So totally gonna remove 6 big bolts on this side. On the driver's side, you're gonna loosen that bolt through the lower control arm, loosen that one and remove the other one, and then you're gonna be able to pry down the whole. I think that's the subframe, so you're gonna be able to pry down. So after you pry down, push it down, you're gonna be able to remove the bolt. I think that's the way I will go with. If you think removing the oil pan and changing the adhesive and do all of that work is a way to go, whatever you guys feel easier, if you guys like find a different way, easier way to do the job, go ahead and let us know. But for me, I think removing these bolts, which is they don't look rusty or anything, so just gonna some bolt to remove, other bolts to loosen, and then just pry down the whole subframe and take the bolt out. When you do that, you always have to have another jack or support here, because you don't need anything to just fill down. I don't think so you can fill down, because there's other bolts that holding the whole thing together. You just need to loosen things, not to remove the whole thing. So we'll be back. So these two bolts here, 17, sorry, these three, 1, 2, 3 here are 19, and the last one, this one from the inside here, is 19 as well. So 217 and 419. Let's start to remove these so on the passenger side, we removed the bolts. We have the other jack to support the frame. Now we're gonna go to the other side, and as I mentioned before, guys, we'll show you which bolts we need to remove and which bolts we're gonna lose. So here on the driver's side, we're gonna loosen the bolt, the 19 millimeter that we removed it on the other side. We're just gonna lose this one here, and on the other bracket in the back, this one, we're gonna loosen this one and remove the other two in the back. We'll try to get some light for you guys, as you can see. Okay, so this is the same bracket we totally removed, these 3 bolts. So we're gonna loosen this one here, and we're gonna remove the other 2. So when we loosen these 19s, so we have more space on this side, so we can actually remove or down the whole subframe down a little bit, so we can take the bolt out. So let's get these bolts loosened. Okay, now we're gonna slowly try to drop that subframe down. As you guys can see, everything is coming down. Nice, easy. Okay, we are almost there. To get that bolt out, we can drop it down a little bit more. That's it. Okay, here we go. We got that bolt. Now we're gonna till the time we put the new lower control arm back. I would like to still support the frame back, so I'm just gonna push up a little bit, make sure it's still good and supported and doesn't only depend on the loose bolt on the other side. So now let's get the lower control arm out. Okay guys, now we're gonna start put the control arm back, and the sequences we're gonna need to put the lower control arm back and starting these two big bolts, the one here and the one here. And once we start these two bolts, make sure they're going through and start to like not tighten, but just like make them go all the way to the other side and start to screw them a little bit in. And after this, we're gonna have to move the frame up and tighten and torque it. Then after this, we'll be back to these two big bolts for the control arm and torque them, and then we'll be done. So let's go ahead and start. Now we're gonna start move the frame up, back, so we can get everything here tightened very well, aligned and tightened. Okay, gonna start with these two 17mm. Again, we're not gonna like put them tight, just make them hang here. And now we're gonna start the big bolt that we took off from here. Remember, that's the one that we took off through that hole. So we're gonna just like first with our hands, like we're gonna try to go from here. We don't have really to go through the hole, the bottom. We just can like get from the side. Let me show you. Again, I'm gonna go from the side here, put it in, and yep, here we go. And we're gonna start it. Okay. So now we're going to the driver's side, the other side. We're gonna tighten all the bolts that we lose in here first. Then after this, we're gonna remove our jack here and then go to the back bracket and put the screws in, or put the bolts in. Now we're gonna put these bracket back on with these three 19mm. We're starting with this one. Now regarding the torque sequence, we're starting with these two 17 millimeters, and it should be 73 foot-pound. Okay. Here we go. And after this, we're gonna tighten the back bracket. We're starting with the two in the back, not the main one. That main one that go to holding them to the frame, but we're starting with these two in the back, the two here, and we loosen two over there. So we're gonna start tightening these four, and that will be 69 foot-pound. After this, we're gonna torque the two main poles, the one here and the other one here, that we go through that hole to 101 foot-pound. Then after we finish this side, we'll go torque the other side. Then after this, we're gonna torque the poles for the control arm. Okay guys, the last part here is to torque the bolts for the lower control arm. So these two big bolts will be 172 foot-pound, and the three bolt here is gonna be 66 foot-pound. So let's get them torqued. Okay guys, after we torque everything, now we have the lower control arm installed. We tighten everything and we torque everything to the specs, so we're good to go. Put the tire on, have the job done. And also in the same video we'll show you how to remove the driver side, which doesn't have that hassle of the oil pan on the way. Nothing will be on the way, but we have a different hassle when we change it, because I hit the curb in the snowstorm and I got the control arm bent, so we had to cut it. We'll show you in a video. Again, it's gonna be like a quick video, like we're not gonna like talk a lot, just a quick video how to easy remove these 22 bolts. Doesn't need to lower the subframe or anything, just gonna be easy, much easier than this one. We're gonna change the lower control arm, that's the driver's side. As yesterday I went out after the snowstorm finished in March. We got a snowstorm. After the roads got cleaned, I said okay, I'm gonna run to Harley, grab some bars for our Harley project. You guys can check these videos in our channel. I was taking a right turn, I lost control and I hit a curb. I got the car towed back, and after I removed the wheel I found this damage here as the lower control arm got bent. So in the back here we have, there's a 22 bolt and 22 nut in the top, and in the front here this here, that's another 22mm bolt up here that we're gonna have to take. And toward the spindle we have three 17mm bolt and two 17mm nuts. As we end up, we're gonna actually cut the control arm where it bent, because we tried to use our nickel bars to move it and get the bolts out, but we couldn't, so we just decided to cut here and then try to take the bolts out. Okay guys, we finally got it out after we cut that bent area. We straightened a little bit with another zag, then we used our bars to go here and just pull it out, and the same on the other side. We used the bar to come from here and push it down, and all came in one piece. Now let's put the new one in. We're gonna put a little bit of grease.
Just a little bit, just to help you slide it in. It's not to grease it, it's just to minimize the friction so you can actually slide it in easier.
Thank you so much guys for the watch. Hope this video is helping you guys. What I know, I'm not sure about it, but what we did today should be for different like Toyotas, like RAV, or I don't exactly sure what years of it, but if you guys find that similarity in the lower control arm is gonna be the same, and you're gonna have the same issue with the oil pan away, and it's gonna have to be the same way. Again, thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe and share, and hope this video will help you out there. Have a good day.